guys, Robin Georgia here with you, aka VHS82 apostrophe, with our ongoing 31 days of horror. We are getting to the end of this thing. Day 29. Happy Sunday, man. Happy October. And almost happy Halloween. As Dan O'Hurley from Halloween Season of the Witch would say, happy Halloween. Yeah, how about, now see, for the final stretch of this thing, I thought it would be fun to just pick out a little selection on our last little of some of my favorites. One, in fact, that I actually in the process of rediscovering, if that's possible when dealing with a franchise like Halloween. But I do think we take our leave of some of these films from time to time. And, you know, Halloween 6 is one of them, although I'm so glad I picked this up off the shelf at Walmart when this was first released. And to my surprise, my Scream Factory 10 film set actually has the theatrical cut of this film, not the producer's cut, but the theatrical, which I'm very happy for. Had no idea. It's been so long since I've really even thought about the differences between the theatrical and the producers. And to see even, I just assumed with that box set release that it would have been the producer's cut in there. But I was very happy to see it was a theatrical. Not that the theatrical is a better film than the producers, but it was fun to go revisit that in light of this film. And to have both films is actually kind of nice. So rediscovering the Jamie Lloyd arc, not really so much the arc as with part 6. And so for day number 29, the producer's cut of Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers, also known, I guess, as Halloween 666. I'm not an expert on the entire backdrop story of this thing, so I won't claim to be. I just know that there was some real problems with the theatrical cut, and there was a bootlegged version of what now we call the producer's cut, and people really wanted it, and eventually this thing did get its due release. And I'm glad for it because it does offer up some really interesting things. It's a much better film. It's not perfect. It's still flawed. Maybe one of the more disappointing features in rediscovering this particular Halloween is that Danielle Harris was not able to reprise her role. And I think a lot of it was money, maybe perhaps. I can't remember what the real reason was. But I think it was J.C. Brandy who played Jamie Lloyd, an older version of Jamie Lloyd. One that actually comes across as a little too old, I think, and not a real clear resemblance to Danielle Harris's young character. But not having I think having Danielle Harris would have really, over the long period of time, I think fans would have come around to that arc. It's its own thing, right? And we have so many ways and angles and means of entering into this franchise. You know, whether it's just the first 2 and then leaping off to H2O, or 1 and 2 and then leaping off into the Jamie Lloyd arc 4, 5, and 6. You've of course got Resurrection out there. You can go from 1 right into the new Gordon Green trilogy. You got Rob's Vision. You got Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, which I absolutely freaking love and adore, and that'll be tomorrow. I'm probably missing. Am I missing any of them? There's a lot of ways of coming into this thing, and a lot of ways of enjoying this thing. And I think the Danielle Harris or the Jamie Lloyd arc has some really fun things about it. But let's talk about the producer's cut real quick. So 2 of the main differences are the beginning and the end, and from the theatrical. One, Daniel, I still want to just say Danielle Harris, Jamie Lloyd's character, whom we catch up with, an older version. Remember the end events of 5 and the prison breakout, the Man in Black, the massacre in the jail, the freeing of Michael Myers. Jamie Lloyd's gone disappearing. When we catch up with her a few years later, she's given birth to a baby in some underground layer of some sorts. We'll come on to find out much more. We're reintroduced to the Man in Black and this whole conspiracy, the Thorn conspiracy, A lot of questions are attemptedly answered in this throughout the film and towards its end, which really is a huge departure from the theatrical cut, which has the most bizarre ending. It's like they're outside of the sanitarium, and Donald Pleasance sends the what's left of our survivors, Tommy Doyle, Kara Strode, and the baby, off, right? He goes on in, and then we hear some screams. Well, we see a mask on the floor and the needle where he had been injected. He is gone, but once Donald Pleasance goes in, then we hear some screams, and then that's it. It's just run credits. Here, the Thorne conspiracy completely unfolds, and we have some really fascinating things. And spoiler territory? I mean, come on, it's Halloween. We've all seen these things a million times, and if you haven't, my apologies. We know the little Danny, who is Kara Strode, the Strode relatives of the Strode family that we know from the original, have moved. The father, you want to call him that? What a freaking idiot he is. He is real estate as well. Him and his brother probably work together if they're actually brothers. I don't know if they say. And so not being able to sell the Myers house, he basically forces his family to live in it. It's like the mayor of Amity, right? Forcing people into the water to get other people into the water. It's kind of the same idea, right? And so you got Tommy Doyle, played by Paul Rudd, who lives across the way in a sort of like a boarding house of sorts, right? Who keeps a close eye on that, almost in a creepy way, on it. And I'm trying to lose my thought here. And so we meet the Strode family. We kind of get all these things laid out. We meet Tommy Doyle. We've already had the beginning, right? And the Jamie Lloyd is subsequently chased and attacked by Michael Myers, who wants the baby. We don't know why exactly. And she ultimately ends up in a hospital where she will die later on, but at the hand of the man in black. Sort of I don't know, it's weird. Almost a Lamberto Bava or some Italian concept of a movie that puts a lot of different angles and things in there. So in here we have an assassin afoot, as well as Michael Myers, right? The death scenes in here are toned down a little bit from the theatrical one that actually involves a head explosion. I was thinking, too, the father of the Strode family who forces his family to live in there. He actually, I wonder if he was not the template for William Forsythe's character in Rob's vision. You know, and that's the thing. When you really get into the Jamie Lloyd arc, you find more of Rob's inspirations for his two films in that arc than you do anywhere else, especially 5. And I won't get into all of it, but if you've seen him enough and you've seen his two films enough, you know he gains a lot of inspiration from that arc. And so, you know, Tommy Doyle hearing Jamie in her flight from Michael is able to call a local radio station, actually get on. And of course, Tommy Doyle's listening, and he is able to ascertain from listening very closely, almost in a Gialli-like way, right? Where she was last found, which was a bus station, I think it was. And so subsequently finds the baby, takes ownership of the baby, and he knows Michael's coming back. And so then you have a whole bunch of things happen, right? A lot of it revolves around the Strode family, around Tommy Doyle and the baby, and then it all sort of, there is even a major Halloween party, not dissimilar to something we might have seen before, in which case Barry Sims, I think his name was, the DJ. He ultimately is going to come to the Myers house where this family lives, never gets that far because Michael dispatches him. And it all sort of kind of pushes its way up to the final conclusion where we have the transference of what is the Thorne curse from the man in black, who happens to be Loomis's superior. which is a reveal, right? And so that transference occurs with not Jamie Lloyd screaming at the top of the stairwell, but a Donald Pleasance screaming realizes what is happening, and a great final scene with Michael Myers, who has dispatched the Man in Black, taken his attire, sorts, and we see a final shot of him walking off free of the Thorn curse, apparently, free of the Man in Black who has used him. If you want to believe this timeline, this arc, this narrative, and he's free of all of it, and Loomis is cursed. So, my thoughts, I really enjoy rediscovering this, and call me weird, but when you've seen the Gordon Green trilogy and Rob's movies, when you've spent so much time up that way, it really is fun to jump into a place where you haven't been in a long time. And so, like the Jamie arc, 4, 5, and 6. Now, I prefer 5 to 4. The Mask, Michael's, aesthetically, it just, there are elements of 4 I really do like, but I don't know. I just have a hard time looking at Michael Myers in part 4. I dig most of the movie and how it goes, and I love just introducing a new arc that we follow right to the Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers. And I think, now that the rights have landed with Miramax and Trancas International / Blumhouse, it's time for the great pause, a great sort of taking in a breath and then deciding where to go. I have an interesting idea, and let me just close with this, I guess. It would be really cool if they went back to the ending of Halloween 6, the producer's cut. Now that Michael is free, and sure, make it canon, so what? Who cares? Make the Thorn thing canon. And everyone loves changing up timelines all the time. Well, let's create a new timeline. Let's take mostly prominently in the forefront the Jamie Lloyd arc 4, 5, and 6, and now that Michael Myers is free of the Man in Black, free of the Thorn curse, he is free to be really purely the boogeyman. Set it a few years ahead. I don't know if you bring back any past characters. I don't know who can come back in this, or even maybe surprise us with a character or two from Rob's vision. I don't know, but kind of go off in a new direction. Set us some years ahead. Not in the sense that Michael has been just walking around in the woods, or in the sense that he lives in a cave underneath the town. I don't know. Come up with something else. Something seems a little bit more, I don't know, Michael Meyer-ish or something. And have him just suddenly be a boogeyman movie. New characters, and perhaps just create an arc. Create a trilogy of some new characters with everything that we have seen and endured through much of it. Mainly probably 1 and 2, and the 4, 5, 6 arc. And go off in a whole new direction. I think it'd be a lot of fun. And yeah, and if you can't find anyone good to play Michael Myers, bring Tyler Mane back. I thought he was great in Rob's movies. Or just go somewhere completely different, somewhere new, but Michael Myers, the boogeyman, in light of or in the aftermath of the concluding moments of the producer's cut. That would be something different. In fact, you know what? Since they're talking TV rights, that would actually fit TV scope in terms of, I don't know how you do Halloween on the TV. I really don't like that idea at all, period. But this is one way to go about it, perhaps, maybe. So anyways, let's just go ahead and conclude there. And the producer's cut, Michael Myers, rediscovering it here in the closing moments of October 2023 as we get really close to Halloween. Rediscover, man, some older Halloween stuff, man. And you may realize that you actually enjoy bits and pieces of it more than you thought you would. So anyways, happy October and almost nearly happy Halloween. We'll see you tomorrow. As always, go Bills.
This is not a dream. Not a dream.
We might be useful to you.